James Baldwin once said, "The world is before you, and you need not take it or leave it as it was when you came in. You need not leave it as it was when you came in." I can confidently say, and it is in no way an embellishment, that Fletcher Flash Wiley changed the world. He set out to do so. He employed every gift he entered this world with and skill that he developed along the way in active pursuit of a more just world. This was not simply an altruistic endeavor, it was one fueled by patriotism, racial pride, righteous indignation, and a rejection of discrimination in all of its forms. Whatever industry or sphere Flash touched or entered, law, business, public health, philanthropy, or civic life, it was all in the name of community betterment. Wherever Flash entered, be it the kitchen in their home after a party, a friend's living room, the boardroom, or a gala, Flash built community with joy and laughter. Sometimes I would enter an event and just follow the laughter to find Flash. I loved his deep, easy laugh, his love for music, except for that one time. Flash assumed the role of DJ, just a little light background, nothing meant to distract, during one of my annual August fundraising events at he and Benny's home. For reasons unknown, he chose to only play ballads from Luther Vandross. I turned to Pratt and laughingly inquired, "Exactly what kind of mood is your dad trying to set here?" I wondered aloud if he was simply trying to send us a not so subtle message that it was time for everyone to go so he could have his favorite girl all to himself. 50 plus years, and his eyes still followed her from across the room. Flash delighted in Benny's company the most. No offense, Pratt and BJ, the pride he took in being your father. But Flash always sought Benny out in rooms as if he couldn't bear a moment apart. I can see him now in my mind's eye and hear him beckoning her over a crowded room. "Benny, baby, come sit by me." Flash and Benny, Benny and Flash. Truly an inspired love and impactful partnership. Now, my life and work have taken me all over this country, as well as outside of it, and everywhere I've traveled, and I do mean everywhere. Inevitably, someone will approach me to inquire, "Do you know Flash and Benny Wiley?" And I'll proudly proclaim, "Of course, those are my people." And then to my possessive only child dismay, they will reply, "Me too." And then begin recounting some instance whereby their life was forever changed because of Flash or Benny or both. These stories represent people from every walk of life, some high profile and known to most, many more you may never know, but whose impact you've certainly felt in our city, Commonwealth, and across the globe. Of course, this all makes sense and is reinforced by your presence here today because Fletcher Flash Wiley was a global citizen and doer of good. He didn't waste one moment or one word. Flash was a man of integrity who righteously stewarded his genius, talents, and resources for the greater good. Long before I met Flash, I heard stories about his truth-telling. He never hesitated to assert his moral influence to, as he said, address the woes of Black people. He was unapologetic in the advancement of Black people, having grown up under Jim Crow, but equally committed to advancing justice for all historically disadvantaged people. Flash created community wherever he went. And in that community, if you visited for a minute or hours, you were welcomed by a "Hey, darling," or "My brother." Flash would tell these entertaining stories where you would lean in, buckle up, and settle in for the ride that only Flash Wiley could take you on, artfully punctuated by the occasional expletive for emphasis of point, of course. From these stories, you would glean a lesson to better confront the challenges of the world, perhaps a hard-earned life wisdom, or Flash would simply find some excuse to reiterate that he was the best singer, basketball, and poker player in his family and friend group, hands down. Flash led a remarkable life because he was a remarkable man. He was an impressive man, but he was never trying to impress anyone. He knew exactly who he was. And when you were with him, you were exactly who you are. There are many reasons he could have been pretentious, but he was never a gatekeeper. He was always humble and open and funny as hell. I'm sure he'd want me to say handsome and cool too. During one of our final moments together, Flash asked me with the urgency only he could, "Are you ready?" I didn't even ask ready for what, I just quickly replied, yes. He could have meant, are you ready to defend Black history, power, and representation? Are you ready to advance economic justice and to close the racial wealth gap? Are you ready to defend the peace and to advance progress for every person that calls this country home? Are you ready to get that fool up out of the White House? And I would still say, yes. But if what he really meant was, are you ready to live in this world without me? The answer is no. But I will, and we will, summon the strength to carry on, to do his work, because his high expectations and this moment demand that we do so. But we'll do it with Motown as our soundtrack and with unapologetic joy, the way you taught us, Flash. Rest in power.